Hello, in this video I want to show how to install SAC. SAC is a SafeNet authentication client. It's a middleware that allows you to manage the certificate-based authenticators, including the e-token, USB token, and we also have the Gemalto smart cards, and also other software-based devices. So it also ensures complete support for all currently deployed e-tokens, and Gemalto ID Prime 8030 devices. And as far as this client, it can be installed on Mac machines, Linux machines, as well as Windows. What we have right now is a Windows machine, and we're going to share or show you what the experience would be from an administrator standpoint. And then we'll also do a separate exercise where we'll do an install from a user experience. So in here, I do have the executable file for the client. And in this case, we're installing the version 10.4. So I'll go through the install process here and walk you through the different features. The install process again, either doing the what we call the default settings or the custom settings, and we'll show you where those options can be selected. Once the client is launched, and we'll show you the features that are available on the client and what you're capable to view, as well as disable from an organization standpoint. If you're the administrator, what features can be disabled. So once the setup dialog window opens, I'll just click next, and I'll click next again here. I accept the license agreement, and no need to change this here. I'll just go through the default settings here. I'll select typical, which is the same as the default settings, and then click the install and let the installation run. So while the installation is taking place in the background, once the client is installed, we'll see an icon on the bottom right. That icon does give you access to the client, and as well as access to any card that's inserted into the reader. The reader could either be on the machine itself, or we do have an external reader that you could utilize. As far as the drivers for the readers, and I'll speak specifically for Gemalto, once you do the install, it does automatically get recognized by Windows. So no additional drivers are needed. It's all self-driven. All right, so I'll hit finish here. In this case, this installation does request we do a restart. So we'll go ahead and proceed with that restart. Okay, I'll go ahead and log in as an administrator. Administrator in this case could be the help desk. So I'll just go ahead and log in here. Okay, so the restart has completed. The bottom right, I did indicate there is an icon, the SafeNet icon here for the SAC. So I'll just show it so that it's easier to walk through the different features and also launch it. So a few things to note as far as the icon is concerned. If the certificate is about to expire, a balloon will show here notifying the user that the certificate associated with that card, for example, or a token is about to expire. And you'll then be prompted to renew, for example, the password for that token. So All right, let's launch the client here. I'll double click on that. So right now there's no token attached, so I will insert my smart card here, and it will get recognized and will be displayed here. Okay, so this is my smart card that I have inserted in my reader. You notice here that did show up. It did populate in this case. And then you have various menu options available. For example, view token info. You can see the token name, the applet version, the supported key sizes. If the token has a password present, that's already in there. And other administrative features, for example, if there's an administrator password associated with this token, that's on here. So a host of different feature options are displayed here. Okay. You could also delete token, unlock token, change the token password, or rename the token. And all these buttons here can be disabled. And in this case, they'll be grayed out like it is at the bottom here. And this all goes back to what do you want the user to experience, and what capabilities do you want to have the end user to have. Okay, so if I click on this gear wheel right here, that opens what you call the advanced window, advanced view. Here I'm able to see the smart card again. Some of the view options that we looked at earlier are shown here. And you notice in this, the card that I did insert here does have a certificate associated with it. So you're able to see the certificate serial number, when it was issued, who it was issued by, the validity period for that certificate. That's also shown up here. That's the certificate. Then you also have a private key that's associated with that certificate. And that's also listed right here. And we'll also tell you, for example, in this case, the key size of that certificate. And a lot of specifications, for example, the key specification at the key exchange, and so on. So this does allow you to look at the certificate. In this case, the client does allow you to do that. The refresh button here, just refresh basically repopulates that window if there are any changes that may have happened. In the client settings, you're able to view what the password quality settings are, and also adjust those settings in this windows here, in this field. So you could change the minimum length that you'd want the password to be. In this case, it's 8. The maximum length, 16. The expiration warning periods, for example, if I want this to 3 days or 5 days or 10 days before it expires, it sends a notification, or in the balloon at the very bottom here will populate and show you that the password is about to expire. And also a very nice feature here is you're able to set the complexity requirements for that password. So in this example, if I need to just set at least 3 types, it will be 3 types of any one of this right here. And then if I need to select individually what 3 tabs I need, for example, I could select uppercase permitted, or forbidden, or mandatory, and so on. So if I want at least one uppercase letter, a number, I would set that as mandatory. If I want to disable special characters, I'll just select forbidden. And if I need to make lowercase option as permitted, I'll leave that as permitted. Again, this allowing from a password creation that a lowercase letters are also acceptable. Everything else that I've highlighted here will be mandatory. So I could hit save, but this is a demo. I just need to show what capabilities are available. Okay. If I go to the advanced tab, I'm able to see what other features are available for the certificate. In this case, you can copy user certificates to the local store, copy from the CA certificates to the local store, and a host of other features. We could walk through this and discuss further through our professional services what capabilities are you'd like and what you'd like to use. Okay, so we did look at the password quality settings, and now we're going to talk about the PIN quality settings. The difference here with the PIN quality settings, PIN is used for digital signing using the certificate, whereas the password that we looked at earlier, that's for setting the password for the token. So same options here, or at least similar. The complexity rules are listed here, what you'd like available or what you'd like enabled. Then in the advanced tab, you could select, regular PIN, external PIN, primary PIN, primary card PIN, validity period, and warning before it expires. All right. So refresh, we covered that earlier. Again, that just refreshes any changes that have been made. There's a help option here, and about just tells you the client licensing. In this case, it's an evaluation license. You could have that imported as well. Okay, so that's the tool. I did indicate earlier we do have a card installed. Typically, when a user receives a card, there will be no content. So assuming that this card's going to a new user, what I'd need to do is to initialize it. In this step, I'm going to show how to initialize the card. In this case, what we are doing, we are factory defaulting the card with no content in it. So I'll click on this initialization button, which is this one right above here on the bottom of the top left. And I'll select the configure all initialization settings and policies. This allows me to rename the smart card. So I'll walk you through this. I'll hit next there. It will prompt me for the administrator password, so I will put that in. And then hit next. So I could rename this smart card and token. So I'll rename it to my smart user 1, right? Keep the new password, the new token password. I'll set it to something I can remember. And again, re-enter that here. And then you could select token password must be changed on first logon. This is an option. You could select that. I'll uncheck that for now. But again, one other option here is the login retries before the token is locked. So that's 15. The create administrator password, if I need to set that, I'll put in a password here. Okay. And or I could keep the current administrator password. Either way, it's really up to you from an end user, from an administrator standpoint, right? So I will hit finish, and the token initialization process will delete all the token and reset all the token parameters. Click OK if you do that. So it will go through the formatting of this card, and I will have no content on it. So I'll click the refresh just to make sure that everything that I need populates. Notice here that the token name changed. You'll notice that the certificate we had on there before is completely wiped out. And the client allows you to now have a new view of what's on there. So any of these options up here, like I mentioned earlier, can be disabled. If I go back to the simple view here, all these fields here can be disabled and so on. And that really completes the SAC, in this case, a SafeNet Authentication Client installation and what the capabilities are.